Hey, Tony Jackson here, just popping in real quick. I was a little earlier today. My sister sent me a video. It was a old cucumber in the booty clown.
What?
It's a little terminology for the men out here. It was old cucumber in the booty clown. He had posted my video. He do fake business credit, scamming people on business credit. So what he trying to do is he posted my video where it was a video that I was talking about how a lot of men today are mad with women and intimidated by women because of women earning the way women are earning. And one of the things that we do as grown boys, whenever we're a grown boy, we want to control a woman. And one of the ways we control women, and any woman who's ever been with a man with money, and including in my own situations, any woman who's ever been with a man with money has had to go through where the man felt like because he buy everything, he own everything, or because he pay for everything, he own her. So when men were the sole providers and the only one that could work, women was getting beat on, women was getting cheated on. Your granddaddy, great granddaddy had a whole nother family. The woman couldn't really work. And if she did work, she wasn't paid what a man would be paid. And so today, a woman can go make millions of dollars. Like there's so many women online that's making 6 figures, 7 figures without even working like a normal, typical, regular job. Like there's women that's millionaires with no college degree. Some don't even have a high school diploma. I coached a woman that had become a millionaire 3 times over with a ninth grade education. And ironically, she owned and operated landscaping companies and like construction companies. And she had got into it, I think, with her ex-husband, but then she kept the company, she owned the company, she ran the company. And I done seen and coached women who got trucking companies, got uh, hair companies, cosmetic companies, doing sales like medical sales, doctors, lawyers. I have clients that are doctors, lawyers, surgeons. And so women today could earn any amount of money. My sister-in-law is a lawyer for the top firm in the world, the number one in the world. And my other sister-in-law, doctor. And so it's like women today can earn whatever. And so the man, he posts video talking about this was keeping women single. It's like, no, you was keeping women single because you're insecure and jealous of her. So you don't want to be with her. And that's what's happening today is a lot of men realize they can no longer control a woman. And it takes a man the maturity. A man has to grow, go through his season of maturation. And I had to go through that of where when I first came into money, I'm thinking, oh, this is my money. Oh, I'm making this money. And me and my wife had to work together because she's so independent. She was looking at it like, that's your money. Like, oh, you have money. And then when she would say that, I would be like, that ain't right. So then it started to convict my spirit because of the mindset and just the narrative that we have in our relationships with this. And we don't see that across cultures. And I think, well, we do see it across cultures, but I feel like the cultures where that really, really exists is cultures where you come from scarcity. And so when you finally get something, you feel so territorial. Whereas I remember my wife made mention to how she see white women, like wives, they'll plan a birthday party and the husband don't give them a budget. They just could spend, what they can afford, whatever the family can afford. They could spend that. And how, and I was talking to my white friend, I was like, so you have a nanny and you have a nanny, you have a personal assistant, your wife has a personal assistant, she doesn't cook, she doesn't clean, and she doesn't have a job. So your wife don't have to work, nor does she have to cook or clean. He was like, yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. Now he's wealthy, but still, I know wealthy men who come from poverty. He don't come from poverty, and they woman still got to cook and clean. She got to do something. And so what happens is today with the singles, a lot of men are intimidated by women. And I used to say all the time in my videos, no man is intimidated by a woman. It is impossible for a man to be intimidated by a woman. But what I really was alluding to was like, I was thinking like physically. Because I thought women was saying men like scared of them, but it wasn't a physical thing. I later understood what women were saying, which they were saying like, men are intimidated by my earning potential, by their money, by their independence, the fact that the woman no longer needs a man for money, she needs him for love and loyalty and companionship and that male figure, that male security, that male leadership, guidance, support from a man, meaning the male mind. And don't twist that, because it's some women so jaded and bitter, they'll twist that. "Oh, we don't need a man for leadership and guidance. What are you talking about?" But a man does have qualities that a woman doesn't have, attributes that a woman doesn't have, and vice versa. And that's what a woman needs a man for. But as men, we have been conditioned to believe that a woman only needs us for money. So when women now can earn any amount of money, if a man doesn't realize what other qualities and attributes he brings to the relationship, then he will assume he has no value in the relationship. And that's why there are so many single men who feel inadequate and like they're not good enough for a woman, or they don't want a woman or need a woman because the woman doesn't need him in the way that he is accustomed or believes traditionally a woman should need a man. Because there was a time where all a man had to do was provide, and outside of provision, he could be a drunk, he could be a drug addict, he could be a womanizer, he could be an abuser. And as long as he paid the light bill, paid the water bill, paid the mortgage, paid the car notes, paid for the kids' clothes and schools and the groceries and all of that, the woman would suck it up, bite her tongue. I'm sure it was a whole lot of women that was sleeping with the maintenance man or something like that out of loneliness or revenge. But for the most part, women would suck it up and say, hey, I cannot go out here and live in the streets by myself. This man pay these bills. A man gonna be a man. And that was the thing. And so I'm really upset, and sad with the state of the world. At being a man, I'm upset with the state of men being irresponsible. So as a man, if you a man, I'm challenging you to be the absolute best man you could be. I'm challenging you to do what is hard, not what is easy. Meaning, when I say do what's hard, I mean sacrifice the porn, sacrifice the gambling, sacrifice the cheating, the lying, the beating, the manipulation, the control, the deception. And every single day, I'm fighting every single day to win the war within, to win the battle in my mind. And I wrote a short book for men that it's gonna come out soon, eventually. Got a lot of support from the folks here. I'm gonna share in the revenue with the Blessed Tribe and individuals. So, or the audio book, and I'm gonna record it. So, because I know a lot of men will listen while they driving their truck, listen while they going to work or whatever, versus sitting down and reading. Not every man sits down and reads. The industry says only 25% of readers are men. 75% of book buyers and readers are women. So I'm gonna put it on audio, and in here, this is what I'm talking about. Winning the war within, fighting those battles. So as a man, you're gonna have battles of what you hear around you that has nothing to do with your relationship, nothing to do with your woman, but you'll see stuff and hear stuff online from men who have been hurt, men who are jaded, men who are bitter, and women who have been hurt, jaded, bitter, promiscuous. So there'll be a woman that'll come online and she'll say women cheat more than men. And she's saying that because she was touched as a child and she was turned out and she became a cheater. And her being a cheater, she attracted women who were fast and loose like her. And so she saw her and her whole crew fast and loose, but she knows nothing about the woman who was raised conservative and respectable and respectful, who was also touched as a child, but went the opposite direction and became a recluse, an introvert, had an aversion toward sex instead of being open and loose. So that trauma affects people differently. So some women go through trauma and they really don't ever really enjoy being touched by a man from then on. Some women go through trauma and then they want to continue that, continue the act of sex, and they start to want and or chase or need that feeling or that release or that connection or that power dynamic, whatever it may be. You have to talk to a therapist about it, but people have different responses to their trauma. And I've seen both sides. I've seen women who were traumatized and they became very promiscuous. And I've seen women who were traumatized and they slept with one or two men the rest of their life. And so it's differences. But a man has to fight that, because a man will go online and you'll hear a woman say, oh, women cheat more than men. And the man will say, oh, because she a woman, she got to be telling the truth. Instead of looking within and looking at that woman's story. And then also, instead of looking at himself and thinking about, okay, if you're a single man, then hey, go out there and go to the grocery store and try to holler at women who got a ring on. Try to holler at women who got a ring on. And then if you holler at a woman, she got a ring on and she married, and you ask her, hey, are you taken? Are you married? And see what she say. If she say no, say, why you got a ring on? Then see what she say. And then talk to this woman. If you're a single man, you could do the field study. Talk to this woman and see what she say. And then what you're gonna find, if this woman is in a relationship and she'll cheat with you, talk to her. 9 out of 10 of those women, what you're gonna find, well, it's really gonna be 10 out of 10. You're gonna find she was turned out at a young age, like she promiscuous, or you're gonna find she's in basically a dead relationship. But you're not gonna find a woman, and I'm telling you from a man that done did this, that was out there, that was in the streets, that was hollering at everything walking. What you're not going to find is a woman who is in a relationship and happy and being treated right. You're not going to find that type of woman to cheat with you. If she is cheating with you, she is unhappy with her relationship and with her man. 10 out of 10 times, that's what you're going to realize. On the flip side, as a man, most of us, not all of us, some of us haven't. I coached a young brother yesterday who said when he was with the mother of his child, every time they was together, he was faithful to her. He would not cheat on her. He said, just not in me. I'm not that type of guy. But they was off and on. So when they was off, he would deal with other women. I said, well, that kind of gave you your little break right there. But I'm like, had you been faithful, had y'all not been off and on, and then you been faithful the whole time without having no breaks to where you could deal with other women, then you'll really see what you made of. But when you have on breaks and you get to go mess around, that don't really count to your resilience, infidelity. Not infidelity, but in faithfulness. And so most men, though, we have been in a relationship where we've been treated perfectly. The woman was not arguing. The woman was not fighting. The woman maybe even was giving you money, giving you sex anytime you want it, and we will still go and cheat with no qualms and no arguments about the relationship. And that's how men and women are not the same. And men were told, be fruitful, multiply on the earth. So that was also put in a man. So a man has to mature and a man has to grow. A man got to go to his creator and ask for the strength and the power to stop recreating, to stop reproducing, to stop spreading wild oats once he find his woman. Because that doesn't die in a man. We don't get married and then lose the desire of lust. We don't get married and then just all of a sudden this woman that we married to is the only woman we want for the rest of our life. That's not the nature of a man. It's just not the nature of a man. When I say that, I mean on average. You have exceptions to the rule. I have not met the exception to the rule, though. And I've met thousands and thousands of men. I have not met a man that does not have lust in his heart, in his mind, in his body, and have to go to God and ask for forgiveness and to pray for the strength to be able to be 100% faithful. It's going to take that. It's going to take that. Some type of conviction, calling, purpose. And even with that, we see men who have so much to lose still do stupid stuff, have all the money in the world and can't buy common sense. We see billionaires got so much to lose, presidents, so much to lose, pastors, so much to lose, police officers, principals. Notice how a lot of power, notice how power starts with a P and a lot of powerful positions start with a P. Police officer, principal, pastor, pope, priest. That's something right there. We just came up on. You see that? And then notice how it's power in the P. Women say that. Why P a powerful letter. It's a powerful word. But look at that though. And so now you have to grow as a man, heal as a man, and have the strength. But I know as a man, men and women are not the same because when I was out there, of course, I look better than I look now because I'm almost 40. I turned 40 in March. And so, young, tight skin, ain't have all these wrinkles, full hairline, muscles, 8-pack of abs. I'm 30 pounds lighter, 30 pounds lighter, all muscle. I looked it decent. I was trying to holler at so many women. I go to so many women and they'll be like, I got a boyfriend. Some women would be so intrigued and like just so torn. I mean, one young lady, like, she gave me her number, let me come to her apartment, like just talk with me, just kicked it with me, but never hugged me, never kissed me, never let me touch her. She said, I got a boyfriend. So she literally just made me like her little cute friend. It was like she was sunning me. Her boyfriend was a dope boy, and I ain't had no money. And she had one of them big old tigers on her thigh. So and she, 19 years old with that big tattoo on her leg, and she was from the hood. And so her boyfriend was a dope boy, and she was pretty. And she was so pretty, I was scared to approach her. Like, I approached her with my flip phone. That's when we had flip phones. I approached her with my flip phone, and I just had a frog in my throat. I just could not, I ain't know how to approach her because she just was like a kind of like a, how Shanti looked. She was like that, but with that tattoo on her thigh, so a little more hood. And I typed in my phone. Hey, I wrote this in my phone. So I handed my phone. It was a flip phone, and I had just typed on a little note, like a text message or whatever, open message. And it said, hey, unfortunately, I lost my voice, but I seen you from out there, and I want to know if I could have your phone number. So I just did that, used the gift for writing. And she was like, smile, laugh, type the phone in there. Just so happened we live in the same apartment complex. Went over there, talked to her. She never let me do nothing. Came over there about 2 times, 3 times, and she just treated me like a friend. But she said, I got a boyfriend. So even this woman who come from the hood, who probably seen a bunch, gone through a bunch, did not let me cheat with her. Same thing when I met my wife. Met my wife, she said, I got a boyfriend. Yeah, and I had met her twice, I ain't know it. The first time I met her, she told me she had a boyfriend. The next time I met her, she told me she had a boyfriend. But that time when she told me she had a boyfriend, I don't know, she ain't give me her number, or maybe she gave me her number, but she didn't talk to me. But then we talked on Instant Messenger. And we just talked on Instant Messenger like friends, but then her boyfriend, I think he cheated on her. Or like did something stupid. And then so it was some time went by, and then she wrote me one day, she was like, hey, me and my boyfriend broke up. And so then this one, me and her hit it off and we got to know each other. But then I came in and I was toxic. And so she broke up with me after about 2 months. And I think she went back to him, like gave him a second chance. And then I think he still took another stupid pill, and they broke up after 2 months. And then me and her happened to bump back into each other 6 months later, because my homeboy wanted to hook up with her roommate. And so I hit her up and said, my homeboy want to hook up with your roommate. She was like, okay, I'll tell her. And then he came in town and he never came. And then when he never came, I hit her up and was like, hey, my homeboy never came, so tell her don't worry about it. But I was like, can me and you still connect? And this had been 6 months. Me and my wife had not even spoke one time. Even because she had went back to her ex gave him another chance and then cut him off after 2 months. And so when I talked to her, she said, I've been single the last 4 months. And so I was like, wow, I'm back with my ex-girlfriend, because I had a girlfriend when I met my wife. So here I was, my girlfriend wasn't doing nothing to me, but she was in another city. She was in Atlanta going to Spelman, and I was in Florida. And so when I met my wife, I called my girlfriend in Atlanta and said, hey, we done. Hung up the phone. Because when I talked to her for 6 hours, I knew she was my wife. I called my girlfriend, hey, we done. And that's how men do women every day. Men drop women like a bad habit every day. But it ain't a lot of women who could drop a man like a bad habit. It ain't a lot of women that's going to hit a man up that ain't doing nothing to them wrong and say, hey, we done. Bye. And so this why I try to tell y'all the lies that we be being fed, and it's not reality. Yes, it done happened before, but it's not the norm. It's not the rule. But men all the time will just drop a woman. Boop. Gone. So I broke up with her. Boom. Broke up with her. Talked to my wife. Boom. Lost my wife after 2 months. And I think it was a double thing. I think it was, one, I showed her that I'm a little controlling, kind of crazy. But two, I think her ex was begging her back, because he found out who I was. He knew my homeboy. He reached out to my homeboy because he found out I was from Polk County. He had a homeboy who got a homeboy from Polk County. My homeboy is the brother of a major celebrity basketball player. So it was like, now it became personal. And so my homeboy, he was like, oh, my dog TG, my dog Tony. They call me Baloney. They call me Tony. They call me Pretty Tony. Hey, he took your girl. So I think it became personal. So with me showing some craziness and him begging her back, it kind of made it a thing to where she was like, hey, I think me and you need to take a break, because I was showing craziness. But she also was kind of, she was 19. She ain't, you young. I forgive her because she's 19 years old. Neither one of us, she's looking for a husband. Neither one of us showing really all the way. But then when he did what he did, I think he got her back out of spite, and then he did her dirty. I think when I got back with her, she told me he cheated on her with 2 white girls, and she found out. I was like, man, boy, whoo, he dumb. I'm like, he dumb, cause he tall and ugly. I'm like, well, he realized what he had, man. Boy, you crazy. But that's how some men is so ignorant, they can't see a wife. So I always say, sometimes, that's why I say it's caveats and nuances, because sometimes women be like, Tony, do you believe that you could be the one who got away? And I'll say no, because if you was the one for him, he would have never let you get away. But that's kind of true and not true. So it's kind of like, my wife wasn't the one for her ex, nor was my ex the one for me. even though both of them could be good women, like my ex never did anything to me. She wasn't like a bad person or anything, but she wasn't for me. My wife, she's not a bad person, but she wasn't for him. So when I got her, I'm like, well, she check off everything on my list. Woman of God, humble, respectful, great conversation. And she didn't check off my preferences because my preferences were brown skin, like me or darker, and with a booty, like a round booty. So she didn't check off my preferences, and she was taller than I like too, because I'm 5'10", she like almost 5'8". So I more so was more comfortable with like a 5'4" to 5'6". So my wife didn't check off my preferences, but she checked off my standards. And I didn't check off her preferences, I'm sure, because her ex before me was 6'4" and played basketball. My wife loved basketball. She a Kobe Bryant fan. She played basketball. Her IM name was Rim Rocker because she said she wanted to dunk. So she was like that. So me, I'm a football player in college. I'm built like a football player. I play running back. I'm 5'10". She always say it didn't matter. She didn't care, and that it just mattered more to me than it mattered to her. But yeah, I was insecure. I wasn't gonna let myself believe that. But me being out there, I had already dealt with over 100 women by the time I met my wife. So I had so much data to where I was meeting men. When I started working with the NBA and the NBA Players Association, I would meet star athletes in the top 100 high school basketball players, and they would be virgins. They would be like, have dealt with one woman, two women, three women, girls, for them, because they was in high school. And I was just shocked. So then I realized, like, wow, maybe me and my crew was degenerates on another level, and we was the exception to the rule, and we was putting up, we was doing more numbers with women than your everyday guys. And so I had so much data that I was able to see men and women not the same. Both of us are flawed, but we do dirt differently and we move differently. But we have so many misconceptions online, and there's so many lies that we don't know what to believe. And then even when we take it against our personal experience, it's one thing you got personal experience, but if you only got personal experience with 3 people, 5 people, then you really don't have data. But if you at 50, 80, 100 dates or relationships or experiences or whatever, you got a little more data. And then now if you do what I do, to where you reaching millions of people and you getting tens of thousands of people sending you their life story, now that's a whole nother level of data. And so what I'm saying is we being lied to and the truth not being told. A lot of men single today for a couple of reasons. One reason is because a lot of them can't find a woman that they can dominate and control. And that's what they want. The other reason is pornography. Pornography. And that pornography turns into a man having a unrealistic expectation for a woman sexually, unrealistic preferences for how he want her to look. That him feeling complete from masturbation, he taking care of the urge in a man to have an orgasm, he getting it from his hand or from a doll or from a pocket pee and that video. And then some men will take and figure out how to go to other countries and have those excursions and experiences with those women over there. So they go over there and pay for prostitutes, and they just live their pornographic dreams. And that becomes so intoxicating, so indoctrinating, so debilitating, so infiltrating that the man has no desire to be with a woman every day, to where she can watch how he move and watch what he does, because he knows if he get a woman to where he got to live with her, be married to her, he's not going to be able to keep up his porn addiction and his porn fetishes, because some of these men, it gets wild. Like some of these men, they start watching transvestites, which meaning the men who dress like women but have a penis. Like what's her name? His name, Bruce Jenner, became Caitlyn Jenner. They'll start watching that. Some of these men, they will start sleeping with transvestites. Like they'll go out and hire transvestites. Like the former NBA player who the article came out to where there was a homosexual man that was DMing the NBA player, and the man went over there to visit the NBA player. Then the NBA player had this third party come in who was a man dressed like a woman but got a ding-a-ling named Kitty. And so some of these, that goes to show you right there, because this all documented. And the NBA player admitted to it and say, yeah, all this right here happened, but it was consensual. He trying to say it was SA. It wasn't SA. It was consensual. But yeah, this did happen. He's saying he did have him, a man named Kitty, dressed like a woman with a dang-a-lang, come over there. And so this is what that porn is doing. And so that's why that particular NBA player too is not married. Got 5 or 6 baby mamas and is not married. And one of the baby mamas turned up dead. And I don't know if natural causes or what, but at that type of level, just like P. Diddy, all this stuff right here coming up, and his child mother turn up dead. Just like Floyd Mayweather, all that money, all that what he went through, his child baby mama come up dead. His personal assistant come up dead. These women dying before 50, before 55, around these men with money. And so this the thing. A lot of this is a demonic spirit that's out there, and it's traveling. It's moving, and it's going from man to man. And if you are a man and you watch porn, that demon is on you. You are under the influence of demons if you watch pornography. Do not try to minimize it and say that it's just fun and it's just what men do. That's not what men do. That's not what men do. That's what deviants do. That's what perverts do. That's not what men do. If you watching porn, if you sleeping with transvestites, you watching transvestites, you watching homosexuals, you dealing with homosexuals, you sexually, you having threesomes with women, you watching porn with woman on woman, you under demonic possession. That is demonic, because it is separating you from a woman who is supposed to be your rib, your wife, your end all be all. Is separating you from that woman, which is deteriorating and ripping at the fabric of a nuclear family that is healthy and whole. If you cannot do it in front of your children, you should not be doing it. You should not be doing it. Anything that you can't do in front of your children, other than, of course, be intimate with your wife, but your children should know about that. Not like vividly, but your children gonna come to the age where they know mom and dad had sex to make me. And that's fine. That's life. They know that. But are you okay with your child knowing about you watching porn? If you do, you're sick in the head and you need a psychotherapist. If you okay with your child knowing about your porn, if you okay with your child knowing about you dealing with transvestites and homosexuals, you are sick in the head and you need a psychotherapist. And this is the state of manhood that's permeating society. And that's why we have so many men. Think about it. Go down the list of influential black men with a podcast or a YouTube channel or a TV show. The one, or like even like, or a microphone, like comedians. Go down the list. How many are married? Do we have enough of them married? Right now, if I had to list out the men, like the black men who are in a lot of conversations right now, Would it be how Deion Sanders would be really big with that first year of Colorado, unmarried, just went through a breakup. Shannon Sharp, because of the Cat Williams interview, unmarried. Shannon Sharp has got another podcast with Ocho Cinco. He got a woman. I don't know if they married yet. I think they're gonna get married, but again, unmarried. But even at his age, shouldn't even be able to have no woman because she already been married. And so, but again, unmarried. Who else out there big? Stephen A. Smith. When you look at the sports world, the biggest black voice on televised sports is Stephen A. Smith, unmarried. You look at the comedy world. To me, I didn't see Cat Williams as the biggest, but now he the biggest because of that interview. But I think he unmarried. And then, you just look around, even smaller comedians, smaller sports people, unmarried. And so why are so many influential, powerful black men unmarried? We shouldn't have none. We shouldn't have none, because the goal of a human is family, to be married. Like, that's what God honors. God does not honor fornication, which is sex outside of marriage. Now, God honors abstinence and a commitment to his will and his way. So a man or a woman is not in the wrong if they're single and they are abstaining from sex and lasciviousness and perversion. Meaning, if you're single, you should not be masturbating and lusting. Like, you should not be watching porn and touching yourself. You should not be playing with toys and to get your release. And because your mind is 9 out of 10 times, your mind ain't just playing with that toy. You watching something, or you envisioning somebody, your ex or your next or somebody you like online, or your favorite celebrity, or what you doing, and that is lust. And that is defiling your spirit. And it don't matter how good you eat, how much you work out. If you are defiling your spirit, you under demonic possession. Because that's what a demon wants you to do. And so this is what you got to realize. And this is real out here, man. This real out here. We being lied to. We being misled. So just like that cucumber in the booty man who go take and post my video, it only had 10 likes or something like that. So my sister's going to say to me, I said, don't send me that negativity. I don't Google myself. I don't search myself. I don't look for no negativity. My job hard enough. Don't send me none of these idiots. This man trying to, he see what I'm saying, and he know deep down I'm telling the truth. And so he know it's a potential that video gonna go viral. So that's why he got that caption trying to flip the words and hate, but he's selling his service in there. Comment the word such and such so I could DM you my program to help you with business credit. Boy, sit down, scammer, and take that cucumber out you. Spin it on that cucumber, boy. And so this is the type of men we have out there today. It's woman haters. They like alfalfa them in the woman haters club, the little rascals. We got little rascals running around here hating women and then get mad at real men who don't want to hate a woman, who want to provide for my woman, who want to protect my woman, and who want to become a better man every day for my woman. Because if I'm becoming a better man for my family, for my woman, I'm a better man for my 2 sons. They seeing a better example. So every day I'm sitting there and I'm fighting the narratives of the world. Like, the narratives of the world tell me that my wife at home right now cheating on me. That's what the narrative of the world say. So, but what I got to say is, Lord, I rebuke that in the name of Jesus, and I'm going to trust you. And then guess what? If she do something like that, that's on her. But I'm not even going to entertain that thought. Devil, I rebuke you. If she do something like that, then boom, that's her loss. Because guess what? That's the same approach she take with me. I always tell her, because I could be over here cheating on her. Now, the narrative going to tell her that I'm over here cheating. We not in the same household right now because me and my son out the country experiencing and exploring. So father-son time, this our father-son retreat type thing. And I'm helping him become a man every day. I'm teaching him manhood every day. Hour, 2 hours, 3 hours a day. He learning how to become a man. I just posted on an Instagram story, he in there cooking. He cooking. I'm making him wash the dishes. He washing dishes twice a day. Got to wash his own clothes, fold his own clothes, You know, he already got these lessons from his mama, some at the house, but it's different for his dad to be imparting in his life and talking to him. And so that's what we doing right now. And so, you know, the narrative online will say, ain't nowhere in the world a man got money, decent looking, and faithful. Ain't nowhere in the world. You crazy to believe that. But guess what? My wife don't ask me a single question. And some demons, some people will say, yeah, she don't ask no single question because of what you do. And she know that, you know, you trapped. And if you cheat, you're going to lose it all. But that's not true. Chris Brown beat Rihanna and didn't lose it all. TD Jakes is being accused of stuff and he ain't lost it all. D pastors, Torrey Robert, Keon Henderson, they divorced their wife, got remarried, they ain't lost it all. You don't lose. Look at Jamal Bryant in Atlanta. You know, all kind of stuff. He ain't lost it all. All the scandal that they be trying to put Creflo Dollar in, he ain't lost it all. So that's honestly not true. My wife she don't not harass me because she think I'm trapped. She know that I could cheat and not get caught. Like, she know it's not hard to cheat. Yeah, you're going to eventually get caught. You're going to eventually get caught, but you could get away with it for a while. It ain't that hard. It's not that hard because I could walk out here in the street and get me a prostitute and cheat. I could walk out here and just pick up a random woman at the grocery store over here in England who ain't got a clue who I am. Tell her my name, Abraham Lincoln. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, gone, done. But it's God watching me. I'm faithful because God watching me. But even though she might not fully trust me in the sense of like truly, because as humans, we don't fully 100% trust nobody. We say we trust people, but we don't really 100% trust no human. No human. We trust, and we don't fully trust God. We don't fully trust God, and we know he perfect, and we know he could deliver, but you don't trust God. That's why you crying, worrying, complaining, because you truly don't trust God. You truly don't trust God. That's why you living in sin. That's why you in fornication, because you don't trust God. You don't think God real. Because if you thought God was real, you would not be in fornication. If you truly trust God, if you truly fear God, you would not be in fornication. You would not be in adultery. You would not be letting your heart be defiled. If you truly trust God, you would not be playing with sex toys because you know God watching you 24 hours a day. So you would not be watching porn, playing with sex toys, touching yourself because you know God is watching you if you truly trust and fear God. We got to stop telling lies. We got to stop telling lies. So guess what? That's why I eliminated all sin. And you know what my sin became? You know what the sin that I struggle with is if I see me, a woman with a nice booty, that is the sin. Because if you look in lust, the Bible say, Jesus say, you know already sin in your heart. But that it happens so instantly. It's not one of them things like adultery to where you got to go through many things like, okay, shoot the shot, get the number, text the number, then call, then talk every day, then set up somewhere to meet, then have some food, get some wine, then talk, then get a condom. Then you got to go through so much to get in fornication or adultery. But to get in lust of the eye, it take a split second because somebody could walk right in front of you, and before you know it, you ooh. Lord. And so what? Guess what? I got to the place to where a beautiful one with a shape, she'll walk by, and my head go to, because she'll walk by, and that nature, that what's in you, if you don't crucify it and consecrate, you wanna. But then you got to catch the head. Lord, give me the strength. Lord, I'm starting to twitch. Lord, give me the strength, Lord. Because that's so, and that right there, the Lord told me, he said, people talk about grace all the time. He said, grace covers a multitude of sin. But he said that right there is the kind of sin that grace intended for. When you jump through several hoops to go sin, you taking grace for granted. And eventually that grace won't be granted. And that's why we seen people in the Bible who took God's grace for granted get destroyed. We seen them lose their life because they went through they jumped several hoops to sin and to keep sinning. And see, that's the thing, what we is facing. So it's like, I had to get to the point as a man of where every day I'm battling, I'm fighting the narratives of the demons and the devils of like, no, I'm not finna be harassing my wife and trying to control her and dominate because I make the money. No, I'm not finna be harassing, controlling her because they say women cheat as much as men or women cheat more than men. And it's like, okay, well, if women cheat as much as men and I'm not cheating, then why should I assume she's cheating? If women cheating more than men, but if a woman, every single time we see a woman cheat, we never see women cheating who are with the man that they want to be with, in love and happy. We see women cheating who they with little ugly that they do not like, that they did not want, or he might be really handsome to them, but he beating on her, he cheating on her, he dogging out, he doing whatever. And she say, you know what, this a dead end. 9 out of 10 times, 9.9 out of 10 times, when we see a woman cheat, she have a quote unquote reason. It's no reason to cheat, but she can attach it to something. But a lot of times when we cheat, why you cheated? I do this every day. I'm on the phone with men. Why you cheated? I really don't know, man. Like, really don't know. Like, this the God's heaven truth. But they'll say I'm lying. They'll say I'm pulling this out my behind. And that's the delusion that men have. And some women will say the same thing. That's the delusion. And that's, the devil is in the delusion. How they say the devil in the details? The devil in the details causing delusion to where we can't even believe common sense. We can't even believe stuff that's backed up by evidence. We can't even believe stuff that's been the norm for centuries. We can't believe common sense. We can't do it because the devil come to bring confusion. So the devil confuses you and makes you think the truth is a lie. And a lie is a truth. The devil will make you think real messengers are charlatans and fakes. And then have you thinking fake messengers who are charlatans are the true messengers. That's what he does. Look how men that's sleeping with prostitutes, sleeping with strippers. You remember when it came out with the guy, Dr. Umar, it came out, the text message from a stripper was releasing. He was sleeping with a stripper. And I think the Breakfast Club talked about it or somebody talked about it. And then he did an interview with Charlemagne and he tell Charlemagne he want 2 queens when he get married. How's you this old and wise and ain't found no wife yet? That don't make sense. It don't add up to me. It's too many women for men who claim to have sense to be single. And then men talking about they want 2 wives and we can't even please one woman. But see, this is the delusion that we under. And people want to argue because they don't want to admit that it's demons that they dealing with. They don't want to admit that they under the influence of Satan. They don't want to admit it. So they'll rather be an agnostic or an atheist because they don't want to admit that they are under spiritual deception, that they are being deceived and their life and their purpose is being ran in the ground and dogged out. And then here's the thing. There's not a podcast in the world that these so-called conscious men who can't even get one woman and be 100% faithful to a woman, which we know, every man knows that is the biggest challenge for a man because it takes self-control, it takes discipline, it takes selflessness, it takes humility, commitment, honor, love, trust, loyalty. It takes all of the things. All of the attributes of God is what it takes for a man to be faithful to one woman. And so here we have men who cannot be faithful to one woman, but there is not a platform on the face of this earth that they can't go sit on and spew their rhetoric, but cannot back it up by living a righteous lifestyle. cannot back it up by living a disciplined, consecrated lifestyle. But they have all of the statistics off of Google. They got all of these numbers. They got all of these theories. They got all of these history books, but cannot rewrite history by breaking the generational curses that they are suffering from. Cannot change their life and be better. And guess what? I'm going to tell you something. When I do a video talking about the state of men, YouTube do not put it in the algorithm. They do not put it in the algorithm. They do not. I don't know why. That if a video is giving advice to women, they put it in the algorithm and it go. And maybe that's because women come watch it, and because you watching it, it put in the algorithm. Maybe it's because you share it. Well, if you want men to get a message like this, then stop claiming you want men to get better. And then when you see a message for men, you're afraid to share it because really you pandering to men because you want a man on your Facebook to pick you. Because I'm going to tell you something. There's not a man that's going to listen to me for 51 minutes and twist my words other than a delusional, demonic man. So you shouldn't be afraid to share this message on your Facebook. Share the link in your Instagram story. Because all you doing is upsetting the demons. I've never had a good man who is a real man disagree with me. Never. Never have I met a man who came to me and said, Tony, I disagree with what you're saying. Never. This men who have told a wife or a girlfriend they disagree with me and then come to me and say, I ain't heard you tell a lie. And I want to tell y'all too, things is looking up. Because the last 2 days I've been coaching men. I've had men who have paid for sessions. One man is engaged and he did a session. Another man, he's single, but still taking care of his baby and, considering being back with his woman. And this is the most two that I can remember, but I'm like, man, it's been a lot of men signing up for coaching. So let me tell you, this work ain't going in vain. A lot of times because women be so quick to get in the comments, men watch and listen. Men don't comment, rarely. It's some men that, have the maturity and the confidence to comment. But most men, they in a season, men learn in the dark. The same way men cry in the dark, men learn in the dark. Men heal in the dark. Men grow in the dark. It's what men do in the dark. So don't think that just because you don't see men in the comments that men ain't watching these videos. They watching the videos. And I'm going to tell you who else watching the videos. When I say names, the names of the people that I say, they watch these videos. You know why? Because one of y'all sent it to them. So when one of y'all sent it to them, they watch the videos. They watch the videos. Point blank period. They gonna watch videos. But hey, got a trainer calling me. So I'm gonna see what he talking about. God bless y'all. Keep your head up. Stop listening to the lies.